Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the CD Sport Podcast with me, Kerry Davis. Joining us today, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. He's the 2019 NAGA champion. He's a Grappling Fest veteran. It's Thomas Reese Benjamin Barry, aka Tom Barry. What's happening, Bar?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
I'm good, boy. You must be pulling your hair out by not be able to go to the gyms and hitting the mats. I know you've been living down there, haven't you?
First things first, just want to clarify, the whole NAGA champion thing is a piss take. No, it's a good tournament to win, but you know, I just blabbed on about it down the gym for a couple of months after it, so they all take the piss out of me now saying NAGA champion.
Fuck off, boy.
But yeah, no, but with the gym, it's been a bit of a shock to the system, to be honest, because the last 2 years, obviously, I've been flat out. Training 6 days a week, and well, basically I'm back on site now, you know, so it's back to normality. The dream has been put on stop, so to speak.
Yeah, because I know myself, you were there morning, afternoon, night, like 6-7 days a week, weren't you, living there? And
it's you know, it's a shame. I really don't like to see what COVID is doing to all this, you know. It's affecting people's lives.
Yeah. No, what was I going to say, Bar? How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu now?
4 years now. Yeah, 4 years, because I finished the season. Yeah, well, it'll be 4 years. Oh no, 4.5 years. Sorry, 4.5 years.
4.5. Fuck. I feel like it feels for me you've been doing it longer, but 4.5 years. So what made a young Tom Barry walk into the gym for the first time 4.5 years ago?
Basically, I've always wanted to do. Originally, I thought I wanted to do MMA, but the more I done jiu-jitsu, the more I realised I didn't want to do MMA because it's going to be too hard. But yeah, so I finished playing rugby, and I was in a bit of a lull. I wasn't really doing anything. It was a bit of a shock to the system for me because, as you know, Kev, I played rugby since as long as I can remember. So I was a bit lost in that time, and I was looking for something. I was doing a bit of striking here and there, a bit of boxing, whatever. But that didn't last long because it was actually Mal Whiteman that asked me to come down with him and start do a first session together. And I started in Pontedower, and just took off from there. Then just started doing it. It wasn't exactly love at first sight. You know, I realized I really liked it, but it didn't become, well, so you could call it sort of leading into an addiction until I had my first competition.
And how long in from when you first walked to the gym was your first competition, roughly?
It was 3 months.
3 months, and you were competing?
Yeah, 3 months, yeah.
What was that like then? Were you nervous? Was it like a rugby game feel nerves, or was it completely different nerves for you?
Well, yeah, I obviously, first of all, it was completely new nerves, but I was at the start of taking, you know, that rugby mentality of like, come on, the boys, we're going to go in there, mash it up. When really, I've learned now, you just got to be as calm as possible. But no, for the first 3 months, like I was training. I was in a smaller gym, and like the training was going really well for me. Like, you know, having the beginner behind, like, you know, I was fresh to it, and people saying, oh, look, you know, you're doing well at this. But I went to compete then after 3 months, and I was going into it secretly thinking, you know, don't worry, jiu-jitsu, Tom Barry has arrived. I'm going to start smashing people up. And it really didn't go that way for me because, basically, I stalled them out and dangled off them, trying to keep them off me for 5 minutes.
What does stall them out mean? What's that mean?
Like, I wasn't trying to do pause. I wasn't trying to do anything to them. I was just trying to stop them doing stuff to me.
Right. Yeah.
So, that in jiu-jitsu, that is pretty easy to stop someone beating you, but to beat someone is hard, you know. But in my first match, basically I went in a little bit inexperienced, and I ended up getting my arm bent the wrong way, and you know, you still had that rugby boy in me, meathead mentality, and I wouldn't tap, and so I got hurt in my first tournament. Yeah, it wasn't good. The boys were cringing. My arm was like a banana. But so I had 3 matches, and I managed to get to the final, but I got submitted in the final. But literally, I knew that, when I look back at the tournament, I was thinking I could do that 10 times and I would not beat them guys again, because they were coming towards me trying to do good stuff, and I was just like dangling off them, just trying to stay, survive. And then I'd get something off what they were doing, score a point. But basically, I was a real shock to the system. And after that tournament, I came out of it, my arm was busted up. It wasn't actually broken, just all ligaments. And then I was seriously questioning, am I going to do this? Because it was a massive knock to my ego. I was genuinely thinking, I've arrived. In my head, I wasn't saying that, but, things are going well in the gym, and it really didn't go too well from there. And then from that tournament, then I regrouped. I thought, right, we got to learn a bit. Yeah, now we're not the strongest man in the world. We can't just beat everyone off raw emotion. So I actually went to compete again, and I ended up getting. I was barely down, bent backwards like a banana, getting choked by a 17-year-old boy.
So this is your second competition ever, is it?
Second competition ever. I think I was 6 months into it then.
Jesus, yeah.
I was the 17-year-old boy on my back, bending me like a banana, head in the mat. So it was it was really a big shock, and it makes you realize that, it's so humbling. It's.
I remember you telling me before, community were good mates, obviously, and you said, "Care, this is maybe you half. I don't know how long into your jiu-jitsu you were, but you said, Care, if you see them cauliflower ears and they're not like a big rugby prop, you said run, because they will just tie you up and beat you up type thing."
Oh, 100%. It's unbelievable. It's I'm actually telling boys today on site that jiu-jitsu, you don't have to be, I'll use boxing as an example. Boxing suits the tough guy, you got to be ready to bang, blah, blah, blah. But with jiu-jitsu, you can literally come from, you could never have played a sport in your life. You can, and there's a good chance you can get good at it. If you use your brain, you can get over the ego bashing at the start. Anyone can be good at it. I'm not saying it's that easy for everyone, but as long as you got the right mindset, your physical attributes, they're almost, invalid.
Yeah. Talking of from the start, the Gracies started jiu-jitsu, didn't they?
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is actually, you could explain better than me, but was it designed for the smaller guy to compete with the bigger people type thing, wasn't it?
100%, yeah. So that's why you see in jiu-jitsu a lot of them fight off their back, which is very unusual to see when people are fighting. But no, that's definitely it's all about using leverage to your advantage and all that basically. Yeah, you're right enough.
What's the saying? Pulling guard bar, is it?
Pulling guard, frowned upon.
So you were saying your first few comps you got beat up a bit and stuff.
Yeah.
How does it work? So for people who don't know, it's a white belt at the start, and
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Then you're a blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and then black, and you're elite in it. That's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is a red belt? Is it? It's a few people.
But red belts, when you've done 20, 30 years of black belt, it kind of just gets the thing. Then
They're just that good.
Yeah.
So in your comps, then, do you compete against people your weight class, or does it go on belts? So you could be, say, what are you, 80 kilos, 75?
Yeah, my weight class is ranging between 77 and 82, depends what's available. I say 77 kilos and 82 kilos.
Yeah.
So you compete against people your own experience and your belt and then your weight, which is even more, that first tournament, I wanted black belts to come. I couldn't beat the white belts.
Yeah.
It was a thing. But I'll go on about competing. So how I ended, after I got choked and humiliated. It wasn't humiliated, but no, it felt like humiliation by a 17-year-old boy. The reason that why I actually kept competing, because my ego was destroyed. Like, I thought, you know, I'm just going to fit in here, you know, but the reason why I actually kept competing is because, like, it set in with me. I was like, I can't win these tournaments. Like, and, you know, it hit me like that. So I thought, but every time I competed, I noticed that when I came back to the gym, regardless of the outcome of the competition, I was better. So that's what I said to myself then is, you know, I'm just going to go there and use the competitions to get better, faster, because, you know, and just see how it goes. And then I stopped worrying about winning. And funny enough, when I stopped worrying about that, then
that's when it came together.
Yeah.
So how often would you say you were doing competitions then, you know, when you said, right, I'm going to give it a good crack? Because you can enter, it's not like getting knocked out. If you get choked out, it's not like getting knocked out, is it? Type thing.
No.
Like, you're not going to have brain damage and stuff like that.
So if you let yourself go to sleep, it's more or less, apart, I don't know the science behind this, care, but I've heard it's just as bad as getting punched, but you obviously don't let yourself you go to sleep, you tap out early, and like, you know, I didn't tap to the arm, but I got tapped in by a choke in the end, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't fancy going to sleep.
So would you say that arm injury is the worst one you've picked up so far?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like for 2 years after, maybe 2.5 years, my arm was just locked like that. I couldn't.
Is it?
I couldn't.
That bad?
Yeah, it was really, because I didn't get any rehab on it, and But I'd say about jiu-jitsu, you know, every injury I've had has come from my silly decision. Like, example, not tapping there, or just going for something stupid. Like, and I will say as well, compared to rugby, I found the injuries, like, way less injuries, you know, and chances of injury.
Less injury in jiu-jitsu than rugby. That's
100%.
quite a... Yeah. No, yeah, you're probably right, yeah. I say rugby, you got bloody 120 kilo men running at you and you're falling on top of you. When
That's it.
If you feel you're in trouble, you just tap in it, I suppose.
You stop or tap, you know, with rugby, you're running up the line and someone's coming from any angle just to smash into you, like, you know, the collisions or something else, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I agree. So obviously now you've been on this journey. So obviously you started a white belt. How long did it take you to get your blue belt from there?
So it took me 2 years to get to white belt. To get the blue belt, sorry.
Right.
Which, you know, that's not exactly really fast. The minimum you could spend on a belt is a year. So obviously I went over the time. But so I was actually, when I first started, like I said, I was in Pontedawe training, and then I was with Whitehead working, and I went down to Pembroke. And funny enough, there was another affiliated gym down in Pembroke, so I trained there for 9 months. So that's a year now of 2 different gyms. And then when I came back from Pembroke, I had the choice, obviously, to either go back to Pontedawe or go down Swansea. And, you know, obviously, like, I felt I was getting better, so I was looking for the the harder challenge.
Yeah. So
I went back down to Swansea, and then I done a year down there, and then I got my belt off Ash, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Ashley because obviously you're a brown belt now under Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
Who is is he? What is he? Is he the youngest ever black belt in Wales? Is that right?
He's the youngest.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the youngest in Wales. He was the youngest in the UK. I think that's been beaten now. But aside of that, he is Europe's finest. You know, I would say at any weight, personally. You know, it's quite amazing the level of jiu-jitsu that is available. You know, in Swansea, it's unbelievable. Like, it's, in my opinion, the best you can get in Europe, and it's just half hour down the road from this little valley.
And Ashley's a champ too, isn't he? 2 weight class. Triple champ. Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he beat Tom Halpin in his last one, so he actually owns 3 different weight classes now. He's tearing it up at the minute. Things are really falling into place for him, but which he deserves. You know, he's put a lot of time and effort into this. It's been, you know, 12 years, I think. Yeah,
12 years he's been doing it.
Yeah.
Well, how old is Ashley? Are you old? How old's Ashley?
He's a year younger than us, so he is 28.
28. So he's been doing it at, how old have you been then? Shit maths, yeah?
Oh, I think he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he was 15, but he was doing Japanese Jiu-Jitsu way before that, you know, since they could walk, I think, with their father,
Yeah.
him and his brother.
What's the difference? Japanese and Brazilian?
Japanese, I think, is more like it's more like self-defense based. I think if someone's got a knife and that, where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, I see it as almost a sport. You know, I don't see it as a self-defense or anything like that. Obviously, from the muscle memory you gain from grappling every day, you know, obviously it's going to help in a self-defense situation. But the way we do things is definitely not self-defense. You know,
So what you're saying, if someone come at you with a knife, you wouldn't use much jiu-jitsu on him, like?
No. I think we go back to over.
No, it's definitely. Have you seen that video? Do you know Matt Serra? He's a former UFC, and it's him pissed head in the bar, and obviously Matt Serra is like high level black belt, isn't he? And I didn't see how we got him on the ground, but Matt Serra's just on top of him. And he's like, calm down, mate. And he's just like grabbing his wrist and the guy's trying to swing at him. And Matt Serra's just laughing, you know. It's such, I don't think people realize if you got into a bit of trouble with someone who can do jiu-jitsu, you're going to get your leg broken or your arm broken, and or get...
100%. 100%. Like, I'm probably more scared to fight now than I ever have been. And I'm probably more equipped now than ever, you know. You realize that, you know, the big hard-looking guy necessarily isn't the hardest guy there. You know, it humbles you all round. Like it's amazing what it's done for my life. To be fair, it's you know, as far as like it's mellowed me out. I can think more clear now about situations, because obviously being in a grapple is you got to think under pressure. You know, you got split seconds to think. And you know, that sounds quite difficult, but over time, like the repetition, it gets easier, you know. But it's just helped me think more logical about things, and you know, I would genuinely recommend it for anyone. It genuinely has got something for everyone. You know, whether you're into it or you do it for self-defense, whether you like UFC, whether you know, it's whether you just want to fill a hole where you can't play, like people who finish playing rugby. You won't believe the amount of like middle-aged men we've got down the gym, and they are going like they're 21, because it's just unexplainable that when you start building up that muscle memory, like you see them walking like they're limping and they get on their mats and then they're rucking like this.
You see a lot of like you say, older men doing it now. Like I think. I might be wrong, but like, you know, Joe Rogan, he was quite late doing it, wasn't he? Was he in his 40s? And obviously he's got his black belt and stuff now. But I think I've done about a handful of sessions. I just think I had I just think it was a shit gym, to be honest. The one I went to, I went about 3 or 4 sessions. Like, fuck, why is everyone raving about jiu-jitsu so much? You know what I mean? But you've been arguing me to come down, haven't you, to Chris Reese Academy?
Yeah, so I still think you should come down, Kerr. Like, that's what I would like to say is, you know, if anyone's like questioning whether they want to start, just get down there. You've got me being the cheesiest guy in the room, full of giggles, banter. You know, it's not a hard man environment. It's like if you're feeling a bit nervous, obviously you will be nervous going, you know, come in, but it'll. You know, your perspective will be changed. This is an amazing thing. Like, you know, I'm the cheesiest guy in the room. Like, so it's you'll all be laughing and you'll love it.
You're actually a coach down there too, aren't you?
Yes. So I started doing the kids, which is really nice. But the last, I'd say, obviously, COVID messes everything up. But I'd say for the last 6 months, I had my own 2 fundamental classes down there, doing gi and no gi. I know that's really good. It's like compared to my old job, it's really rewarding to see people use the stuff you show them, and it's
for the people who don't know as well, well, they probably will know, but do you want to tell them what the gi and the difference is? Gi and no gi?
Yeah, so the gi is, you know, the karate costume you think of, innit? That's the gi. And the difference is obviously that they can grab the gi and use it, wrap it around you. You know, they can break your posture with it, choke you with your gi. You know, they can grab you by your ankles, and they can do anything. Yeah. And then there's the no gi side of it, where you like two slippery eels, and you just, you know, there's not so much to grab onto. And I personally prefer the nogi. That's what I've done a lot more of. But like, you gotta respect the gi, so to speak.
Is it a big difference, then, Bar? Like, obviously, what you described there sounded a lot.
Yeah. There is a massive, not a massive, it's hard to explain. They are starting to drift apart. But yeah, you know, jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu. So the fundamentals of it is the same, obviously, but you've just got to adapt. Like, if you were using the gi to pull someone down towards you, that's all you've got to do is find a different way apart from the gi, like, which usually be the back of the neck, you know. Yeah. But yeah, they are drifting apart because there's a lot more leg locks involved with the no-gi, and there's a lot more wrestling heavy in the no-gi. But apart from that, you know, this jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu. Oh, I'm sorry, the gi is a lot slower.
A lot slower?
Yeah. I think a lot more static strength in the gi, you know?
Yeah. Right. No, I was going to ask you to... If you don't train in a gi, you don't get your belt. Is that right, or is that wrong? You don't get graded. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. There is, you know, what's it called? Exceptions. Yeah, there is exceptions. You know, like if someone is putting it in and he's coming to every class that he can come to, and he can't get to a gi session, then you're going to help that guy out. You know, if you can see the effort's being put in, then, you know. But if the effort isn't there, then they will. You know, you will have to get in the gi, you know. It's but like traditionally, you have to be in the gi to get graded.
Traditionally, yeah. I want to say as well, when I was doing my research on the old jiu-jitsu, they say normally to get your black belt, it's about 10 years and that's hours on the mat. Hours, what I read. And you're already a brown belt and you've been doing it for 4.5 years. So you go one more belt, and you're going to be fucking black. That's fucking amazing, but it's so good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. You know, it sounds amazing. But I promise you, like I've put, like when I'm not on the mat, I'm in the house thinking about jiu-jitsu, and if I'm not thinking about it, I'm watching it. I've really like immersed myself. Is that a word, Kev?
You're asking the wrong guy by it, I don't know.
I've just, you know, I think that's immersed. I don't know. I've just like, I've made it my life, and I'm a proper, you know, a geek with it. It's and obviously I've been lucky enough that in the little old area of Swansea and Swansea Valley that, you know, I found a gym with Reese there, who was coached, you know, elite athletes, taking them to the UFC. He's taken Ash, you know, he's Ash's coach. As you got Ash's brother, then Josh, who is another one of my coaches, and then Ash, and obviously they give me the opportunity to finish work and go down there and to take me under their wing, and you know, basically teach me everything, you know. So I've been like, as much as I put into it, I feel I've been lucky to be in the right place at the right time to meet these people, and they've just, you know, welcomed me with open arms, and you know, they don't hold back on knowledge. They don't, you know, they feed me. It's been amazing. So
that's awesome, bye. I want to go back to as well, you know, and I was reading your notes out at the start. Grapple Fest veteran. So Grapple Fest, well, you can describe it better, but they say it's like one of the top. It's like the Premiership of, you know, football, like the Manchester United. If you're playing in that, you're with the big boys type thing. Well, I got on your notes here. You've been on the same show as Craig Jones, Lachlan Giles, and I don't know much about jiu-jitsu, but I know them boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you want to
Yeah.
talk? Do you want to talk about how you got into that? And
Yeah, it was so Grappling Fest, like as far as there's two big shows in the UK, and that's Polaris and Grappling Fest. And yeah, so like, you know, they are, as far as professional grappling goes, they are the shows to get on, you know. You got some others like Pantheon and Battle Grapple and that. But yeah, so like when I actually got on to Grapple Fest, it was, I didn't realize how lucky I was. Like, not lucky, you know, I didn't realize that this chance wasn't going to really come for how easy it felt I got it. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to get again. So there was on Facebook, they advertised the blue belt tournament. I was a blue belt at the time, under 90 kilograms. So obviously that was a bit heavier than what I am. But I went up there. I got to the final. I went to Liverpool, spent the night there. Got to the final. I got beaten by this MMA boy who guillotined me. Yeah, so that was a good learning experience. It's just loads of blokes coming from all over the UK, all blue belts, all starving for it in this little gym. You know, it was quite intimidating, but when it went, like, this was different to the tournament format. It was less like it was less professional, but it was nitty gritty, you know. So I actually lost there. I got guillotined, and then that was it. And then did another tournament then of absolute weight. So that was like no weight limit. So I got to the final of that again, and guess what? I got guillotined again in the final.
Did you?
Yeah. So, but obviously, like, because I was the lightest guy there. You know, these were all like 100k plus boys. I think Chris Thompson, the guy, took a bit of a shine into me because obviously he knew I was game, and a guy pulled out of a match and got me onto the Grapple Fest basically, and there I was in the bullpen with Craig Jones, Lachlan Giles, and at the time I didn't even it didn't sink in how hard this was going to be, because since then I've been messaging him asking, can I get back on? And I just can't get back on, you know. So it was an amazing experience, and I took Stephen Myers and Nicholas Morgan up there with me, and you know,
were they like a corner Manfield type thing, or?
Yeah. But it was brilliant, you know. Nick was there videoing Craig Jones and laughing up in the face.
Have I told you my BJJ claim to fame story? Have I told you? I might have.
No, I didn't think you have. No.
Have I? Well, a few years ago, I went to Bali, and I said, I wouldn't mind doing a bit of training over there. So I went to a Bali training camp. So you're doing a bit of Muay Thai, you're doing a bit of HIIT fitness, kettlebell workouts. So I got, right, give it a crack now. So I went, my first day I went there, and I could see this guy, fucking big rig, handsome fella. I was like, there's a few people around him, and, you know, quite intimidating. He's about my height, 6'1", 6'2". And you want to see him on the battle ropes. He was like, smashing them. He was a beast. Doing that, this was a HIIT fitness, you know, HIIT, high intensity training. Yeah. And I was like, fucking hell, you know, and everyone was taking photos of him. I was like, who is this guy? I don't know who he is. So I went home and back to my villa and went on the Bali Training Centre's Instagram. And then this guy was on their Instagram and he got tagged in it. So I was like, fuck, who's this guy? Clicked on it. It was Marcus Almeida. Bushetta, is it? Busheka? Him.
Bushetta. He's the game.
Yeah, so I was like, so I clicked on him and he was like, you know, he got about 300,000 followers. And so I screenshotted it, sent it to John Martin, because I still don't know who he was. I go, do you know this guy? And he's like, Care. That's like one of the fucking greatest jiu-jitsu fucking guys ever to walk the earth. I was like, I just did a HIIT fitness class with him, by. Like, that's bad. He goes, you should have asked him for a role. I was like, fuck. It was quite scary to think if someone like him grabbed you, like. He said he's well, yeah, he's definitely over 100 kilos. He's like 6'1", built like a brick shit house. Handsome fella too.
You know, okay, he's our age.
Is he our age?
Our age. He's been in jiu-jitsu. Like, he's already a legend of the game. Like, and he's our age. He beat Roger Gracie, who's classed the greatest of all time. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about jiu-jitsu, though. You know, in football, like, or rugby even, we're not going to be training with, you know, who can
say,
the Welsh rugby team. We're not going to be training with them, are we? Like, no matter how it's got to get a long way before you start training, or with sorry, the light's in there. It's going to be, you've got to get a long way before you start training with the Welsh rugby team. But in jiu-jitsu, because it's not very professional yet, you know, like Ash is ranked 4th in the world. You know, fourth, like out of all the world, you know, America, and so he'd be a British lion to us, you know.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
There I am. I'm round him all the time, training with him all the time, and not only me, you know. You know, like the boys, Myers comes down, you know, comes down training with Ash. Who else? Basically, you could come down today and you'll be training with Ash. You know,
and he's like, you can say he's the 4th in the world, and he's just like giving me his knowledge. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's mad.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually. I never thought of it like that. And last year, actually, you were meant to go to the ADCC trials, were you? Yeah, obviously, COVID fucked that up, but you were lucky enough to go to Poland anyway to do some seminars with Ash.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
What was that like? Do you want to talk about
that? That was, you know, that was the first like real experience. I've been living the dream anyway the last 2 years, doing what I love, but for me that was like, you know, this is a good lifestyle. When we just going around, we were going around all the gyms there. Ash was teaching, and then we were just rucking with them all at the end, you know, seeing what these people like Ash got to Poland. This guy give him his car for the time he was there.
What?
It's you know, they were like, it was an amazing experience, because as you know, like stereotypically the Polish are big, like strong, hard men, you know. So when we got to the gyms there, we could definitely feel the intensity. But one of the best experiences when we were there, we were in this gym, and me and Ash were like, he doesn't look a lot smaller than me, so we were like quite small. All these blokes were, they were like 6 foot plus, definitely on supplements, you know. So, you know, these blokes must be thinking they were hard looking blokes, and they see me and Ash turn up, like, and you know, they were a bit like,
easy you know, type thing.
Yeah, they felt that way anyway. You know, at the start, it was a bit like, you know, hard man environment, like different over here, because he was a bit more, you know, MMA. But yeah, and then we coached them. It was a little bit, you know, thing, and then after we just went through them all, and you should have seen the environment change. It was amazing. Like, they were like gone from that to like, whoa.
Yeah, want to be your best mate.
That's it.
How was could they speak English, or was it hard to speak to them?
Some of them, you know, some of them were speaking English, some of them weren't. But you know, like, it's mad. We're only doing jiu-jitsu together. Like this, like Ash talks about a lot. We've got the universal language of jiu-jitsu, so we don't really like do much talking. You know, we can kind of understand what we're saying, and it's it was an amazing experience. So it's, you know, just to see like how, you know, how they were treating Ash was amazing, because Ash is actually probably more famous in America or than here. And like, being grappling famous isn't really famous, because you could have the, you know, Gordon Ryan, who's the best grappler in the world, and people wouldn't recognize him. So it was nice to see over there where grappling is a lot bigger. You know, it is like grappling is it's the most densely populated grappling country in Europe.
Really, so Poland is?
Yeah, it's really big over there. So it was nice to see how they treat them, and you know, I was very lucky. Like, I didn't spend a lot of money over there. I was lucky to, you know, it was proper first taste of the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, so to speak.
So definitely a trip to Poland on the cards again, then.
Oh, 100%. We're going to go back for the trials. I think the same time this year. So
did you go to did Ash have a seminar over there because you were meant to be there anyway, type thing, or was it?
Yeah, so obviously he was going to go, but he wasn't going to do any seminars because he was head down to do the trials, you know.
Yeah.
But when the trials were cancelled, then everything was booked, and Ash loves a trip, you know. So he just basically spoke to a few people and got some seminars lined up. You know, again, another gym is another guy, Camille Wilk, one of the best in Europe again. You know, like, I'm rolling with him. There's another guy like a Barbarian, or Poland International is
elite.
amazing. Like, yeah.
No, I was gonna say Poland as well. Like, obviously they've got the UFC light heavyweight champion too now, haven't they? What's his name? Jan Blachowicz. You got Joanna. I can't even say. I'm not going to attempt the last name, but Joanna. So Poland would be. I could imagine them being very heavy. Grappling, MMA, all that type of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, but if you had a magic wand and I could go like that to you could grapple anyone in the world. Who would you grapple with? Would you like to feel a strength or just roll with?
So,
or you can pick. You can pick one or two if you want.
Can I have three?
Right, you can have three. If I say right, bar, you can have these three people to roll with. Go.
Right. For my own weight, and like a legend of the game, obviously, it would be Marcelo Garcia. For my own weight, but an up-to-date guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, so it'd probably be Dante Leon because I do like his style. And then just overall, who I'd like to feel would be Gordon Ryan because he's just the best in the world,
He's a big rig, isn't he? Big boy.
Yeah, that won't go very well. I don't think it go very well for me, but it's it's just be amazing to feel that of where the sky is, where the ceiling is.
Yeah, just to feel his strength and all that type of thing,
Yeah.
And before I let you go, Bar, I want to ask you one question, and I think I'm asking this on behalf of a lot of people. Are we ever going to see you in a cage, boy? Because we know Tom Barry can throw hands, We know he can. And he's got this grappling under his belt as well, brown belt jiu-jitsu. Do you think you'll ever give it a crack or what?
No, absolutely not. No.
Oh?
No, I don't think so. It was always like, I was always debating, like that's why I would have liked to do a bit of grappling, is because I wanted MMA appeal to me a bit more. But now, like, I'm never gonna complete grappling. And if I put MMA in the mix now, then I'm definitely I'm even setting myself further back because I've got to spread the love a bit, So I literally thought to myself, like, do I put all my eggs in one basket and try and get, like, I like to think myself, can be a perfectionist. So I'd rather get as good as I can at that, and then to see what I can achieve in that, rather than spreading the eggs too thin. And that's my excuse for not wanting to get punched in the face by loads of crowd, by loads of people watching me. That would be my worst nightmare. Is like being in Pondadower Arena, like everybody that loves or hates me watching me have a fight.
You could just army crawl to the legs, Bar. Do you know what I mean? You need to say, yeah.
But that's it, okay. I'd be like, even if I was grappling, even if I was like the best grappler in the world, my ego would get in the way, and I'd be like, I'm gonna bang this guy. And I just said, it wouldn't go well.
The old Tom Barry on the rugby field come out, like throwing bombs at people.
Yeah. So sorry on that, Matt. You mentioned Tom Barry on the rugby field, like it's obvious. Like I got well into rugby when I was playing it, and I was a very aggressive player.
Oh, can I just say as well? Can I just say? People who don't know, Tom Barry was like semi-professional. You like starting scrum half beneath. Potentially, you could have made it all the way in rugby. You had that potential, like you had that skill. I just want to say that if people don't know.
Yeah,
and obviously
if in time it wasn't going well at the time because I was an idiot. I was like spreading the love. I was doing all I could with rugby, but I liked a good time care. So. So, that obviously thing. But, when I was on the rugby field, my best attribute was, I was aggressive and I was, a bit dirty. And so, like, it's amazing to see, like, that I can feel it in me that I used aggression and I used, like, that, like, almost bully mentality to get good at rugby, to make the presence felt. And I've completely gone, like, the other direction now. I'm all about get as close to Zen as possible. That's what helps me grapple, is like if I can just be casual and not be aggressive. And if I get aggressive, then I'll lose my energy quicker because I'll be more tense, So it's been like, you remember, Kevin, we were like I'd be in the rugby change rooms. I'd be, come on, boys, you're gonna get Achilles. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's just like, and it's just like slowly but surely, it's gone down into every other aspect of my life. You know, like I have a better relationship with my girl, my missus, and I just have a better relationship with everyone. Really, it's really like humbled me, and it's for the temper side of things. It's been amazing. You know, it's basically what it's done for me, Care, is made me be more comfortable with myself. Just put it in into other words, you know, like I'm just more happy with myself than I've ever been, and I can't put anything else on it than jiu-jitsu has done that for me, you know. And I recommend it to everyone. Like I'm like a Jehovah's Witness of jiu-jitsu.
Imagine you knocking people's doors, like giving out CIA, Chris Reese Academy flyers.
Yeah.
Well, listen, boy, really appreciate you coming on. Before I let you go, do you want to give anyone a shout out, or where we can follow you on Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, guys, follow me on Instagram, Chimp Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, so follow me on there. And I just like to say, just basically like a big shout out to Ash, Chris, and Josh. That you know, the last 2 years, I don't have a lot to show physically for what I've achieved. Like it's all up here, and like you'd have to see my grappling to see what I've done. But I felt like I've achieved the most I've ever achieved, you know. And it's all down to them. Basically, they've taken me in, and they haven't held back on any information, and you know, I can see that they want me to succeed, which is really nice, you know. So that's Ashley Williams, Josh Williams, and Chris Reese. Is you know, it's an amazing opportunity they're giving me.
That's awesome, Bar. Thank you very much for coming on. Tom Barry, everybody.